Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and once again it is time for a full body workout. But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click a like and drop me a comment down below, I'd appreciate it so much. Squats, I did exactly what I wanted to do today, happy with it. Deadlifts, the fatigue is just there. I simply wasn't strong enough to deadlift. I'm going to need to really assess that this coming week. But I wanted to come in and start pausing. I'm like, look, I know I've been doing like sets of 7 with 405, did a triple with 425. I really want to focus on the deep pause though. So I'm like, let's come in and just do some straight up high bar, not even worry about trying to get into any low bar position. Let's just get under there where I can just feel comfortable on my shoulders, just do a high bar. Let's just pause it. And I did 2 reps and quite frankly, high bar pause squat at the bottom, the 405 for a double was pretty challenging. I could have got a third, but a little worried about it with the pause. So some of this I'm going a little heavier. I'm like, look, I've been hitting 4s over and over with 315. I've built up to that. I'm like, let's go to 325 and see what we can get. And I got 3 reps. It was a 3 rep max. Yes, they're clean. Yes, they're paused. But the 3rd rep, it was grindy. So I got a good pause there. We go to grind it and notice I'm just that last little bit, that last lockout, fighting it. I got it, but it was tough. So, and I need stronger triceps. So I know I've got to keep hammering the triceps. A lot of people are like, oh, I feel like your delts are the weak link, but I don't know that they are. Maybe my triceps are even a weak link with the overhead lockout too. So I want to keep doubling down on that. I'm going to keep hammering shoulders because I want to get to those, the better overhead again. I want to overhead press 225 again. Like that's a goal. But we're going to have to work on it. So the bench though, I mean, all things considered, even though that was a 3 rep max, considering my best single this year was 350. See where we're going with the math? If we were to do the math over, that puts my max a little over 350 potentially. So I'm not unhappy with it. Let me be clear. On a max calculator, it says I'm at least, if not a hair better than my best max this year. I'll take it. So then I did this. I counted 17 reps and I paused more of it. I'm trying to do almost no touch and go when I do this 225 because some people have called me on that. If a bunch of the reps were touch and go, okay, let me try to pause them more and more. I counted 17, but when I did a quick look at it later, it's hard to count this many reps. I counted 17 on the thing, but when I looked at the footage later, it looked like it was 18. I don't know. I'm just going to mark it as 17 because that's what I counted during the set. All right, the deadlift, I just couldn't get it past the knee. It just gave out. So it's like, okay, I hit this for a double last time. I've done 500 for 6 several times. I should have been able to hit that for at least 2. But I noticed I just didn't have the power to follow through. The glutes and hamstrings were just not there. Now, I think part of it, I think the pause squats might have fatigued a little. So I don't know. I'm going to come back and we'll assess it a little more closely on Friday. I may come in and drop back to 500 and just do a top rep set and see where we're at. All right, for the overhead press, I'm just slowly working it up. I did the wider grip here and only got 10 reps. I went up to 105. I know this is really weak, but I don't care. I'm setting my ego to the side. I'm just going to use really lightweight, focus on trying to lock it, just do my sets till I feel like I can't do another rep. And I'm trying to work with different grips. Now, I've felt a lot stronger closer. I went with a closer grip here, right at shoulder width. It felt stronger. I knew as soon as I started pressing, like, oh, this feels easier. Now, I feel like I'm struggling to reach the same lockout, though. But it looks like my pull-up lockout. And so when I pause it, I can kind of see it's right about where my pull-ups are. I'm going to have to just keep working it. All we can do to get better at this is to try to force it. And it means I'm going to have to use light weights and try to bring it up and pause some of them a little at the top if I can, if I'm able to. But I got 12 reps instead of 10 with that. So I feel like I'm definitely stronger with that closer grip. But it feels like less of an ability to get close to the lockout. But that's still just my range of motion because when I look at the pull-ups, it's not the strength issue there. Like look at the range of motion. Look at when I do these even with the dead hang reps. Notice my scapula come apart with what doesn't look like a lockout. My scapula still come apart. So notice when I do reps from a dead hang, like right there, that's my full lockout because I'm swinging in a hang. All right? That's completely relaxed for me. So that's just simply where I'm at right now. how do we fix it? All we can do is train it. So I went up and weighed a little bit on these today. I got 10s. I think I only got 9 on the second set, right? So all we can do is work it, work it, work it. Stretching doesn't do anything. Dynamic movement is the only thing that's helped my shoulder range of motion after those 2 impingements I had previously from chin-up overuse. So all we can do is work it. So I'm just going to religiously work it. I'm going to overhead press. Notice I failed right there. Saw that rep. I went from the bottom and it just stuck. Saw me move a couple inches and it just dropped. That was muscle failure. So then all I can do is just work it, work it, work it, work it until it improves. I feel like the med ball tosses are helping. So extensions, these I've only been doing the 1 set. And the reason is I'm doing them 3 times a week. We have all that bench volume. This a fair amount of free weight heavy volume here on all the pressing. My triceps are getting a lot, but I don't want to pull extensions out. I feel like with knowing that my triceps are the only thing holding me back, right? So if you watch my stuff, my grinds are true lockout grinds, even with the wide grip. Okay. Saw that grind rep. Same thing when I do get to the last rep or 2 with the 225. I'm struggling to lock it. And when when people say lockout, everyone thinks it's a lockout when it's in the middle. In my case, it really isn't. So let's just keep hammering triceps. Keep hammering triceps. And as any powerlifter coach will tell you, no one has ever gotten a weaker bench press because they worked their triceps. We can argue about whether triceps are a weak link, but anybody ever bench got weaker because they got stronger triceps? I don't think so. So I'm going to keep pushing that. All right, the laterals with the plates, I'm hitting PRs now, right? I got 22 reps roughly on both sets, right, and right at failure. I got 20 last time. It was like 16 or 17 before. So I'm just going to push these for a couple sets after the overhead work. Keep working shoulders. I know, like, just visually I need more shoulders. I've said I'm going to isolate shoulders. I'm going to work on them. So the same thing, if we think about the overhead pressing, if we get stronger triceps for locking and we build the delts with smaller movements, that'll keep hammering that overhead too. But I feel like at this point, as I continue to get leaner over time and recomp, really shoulders are going to do the most for me. So I'm just going to double down on some shoulder work. Right now, I do biceps on my my cardio days, my GPP days, because I just don't want to add that at the end of this. There's just a lot of fatigue has been generated. I feel like they do better if I just kind of do them separate. This is a lot of work. Oh, it's a lot of work. So again, the overhead though, I'm going to just keep working until I get the ability to lock it. We're just going to do pull-ups. We're going to do overhead work and not give up, because that's been my other thing. I stopped doing the overhead because I let stupid comments, that's 0, just go lighter, when I can't lock it with the barbell. So I stopped. It's like, okay, I just don't need it. But there's a point where I go, look, I need to focus on reaching my goals, document it, and it doesn't matter. If 5,000 people come in under my stuff and say 0, 0, 0 on the overhead, hell, I just get paid for it. So why? Don't let it bother me. Just train. I know I need to get my overhead back, and I know unless I train overhead, I'm not going to get that range of motion restored. Same thing with the pull-ups. Doesn't matter if people don't like it. Just go into a dead hang on the reps and just keep going. Doesn't matter. Not like my lats don't grow. So just get in and do it. So then, because again, the tricep lockout, I decided to go really hard on the bands today. And I'm not doing any bands on the off days. I'm not doing any triceps. I'm like, so if I go kind of hard on this at the end, just let it heal. Leave it alone. Don't do anything for triceps on the off days. No overhead pressing. No, we can do the med ball throws. We can do all that stuff on those days. Okay? So just leave them alone, and then that'll let me get away with this. So I pushed 3 sets to failure on these. I lost reps over time. But overall, pretty happy with everything but the deadlift today. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.